What's up, guys? I'm Koji. Today's topic is about dream. Dream is not about the what you see when you're sleeping. I'm talking about the dream, the vision of what you want to do, what you want to be, and what kind of life you want. That is dream. And the question is, why we dream? Why we dream? And do you have an answer? I don't have an answer. However, I think the reason why we dream is the intention of our spirit. We have our spirit, your spirit, my spirit has our intention, what we want to do in this life before born into this life form. The spirit has an intention of what it wants to do in this life, on this planet, on this earth, within finite lifetime as a bio creature. And or maybe God's intention is make people, make spirit dream about what they want to do. And or maybe we have made so. We made so that we develop this world for the better for descendants. And we don't know, but somehow some kind of a divine power or divine intention or some unknown force is working to make us dream about something, a certain thing, and everybody has unique dream somehow. And we dream, and what is your dream? Do you have a dream? I think you have. I think you had dream when you were childhood. When you were a child, you have many kinds of various kinds of dream, I think. And I think I have a dream in my childhood too. And my my recent the vision I had from the pretty long time is this is this is fun, not funny, but kind of ridiculous thoughts. However, I have a vision of being a king, leading a people. I have a queen by my side, and I have to manage to sustain the country, to sustain the kingdom for the better, to be good for people that I own, that I people that I lead, and that is the vision I have as in my dream. I don't know how it come to be true, or how to how to be realistic in the reality. I don't know. I'm not a king right now. However, that leads to that led me to think about how to be prosper, how to be wealthy, how to lead people, how how can I grow to the person who can lead those people, how can be the person who would be the king, who would be own the kingdom. That is my mission, to pursue the development of myself to that. Okay, so let's finish my story. I want to talk about important importance of a dream. Now, what is your dream? You gotta spend time to be specific about your dream. In the detail, you gotta dream, and Once you have a dream, and you gotta feel it. You gotta feel your dream. Be in that image, and you know, be clear about your dream, and image in detail in your mind, and have a dream, and go into the dream and feel the dream, and remember the dream, memorize it, and be in the dream. Now, as you get older, as you age, typically you tend to forget about the dream. You spend less time on your dream, and the dream gets pale, and it gets transparent, and it's gone. That is typically happens for most of the people living in this world. Now, have you been told about be realistic when you talk about a dream, about to your friends or colleagues or some certain people around you, and probably somebody's got to told you, be realistic. It's important to live life. Be be more be more grind your foot on earth to live it present, live you know be in a good way. But the point is, the people who told you this kind of thing, do they live the life you want? If so, you gotta listen to it. If not, why do you listen to it? Why do you accept the thoughts? You gotta be you gotta be really vigilant about what kind of thoughts you important to you, what kind of thought you accept, what kind of thought you convince it to, and you gotta be careful. You gotta be vigilant. You gotta be deliberate about who is telling the thoughts. Now, you gotta listen. You gotta dream first. You gotta dream about what kind of. You gotta dream your life, your dream life clearly, and if you gotta spot someone who lives the life you want, and then you might want to listen to them. Otherwise, you don't want to accept any thoughts from people who don't live the life you want. Now, that is how that's how people delude your reality. That's how people convince you to live the life as they live. That's how it works. That's how the peer pressure works. People don't want you to get away from them. People don't want you to live the life better than them. People want you to live the life they live. That is the reality. Now, if you think about trying to be realistic, that is end of your spirit's intention. You kill the intention of the spirit. If you try to be realistic, you kill the dream. That is what happens. That that is what happens to most of the people on this world. Now, don't take it wrong. Being realistic to deal with the matters that happens in your life, that is important. You gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with the things you have to deal with. That is not to be not to forget about the dream. That is separate. That is totally separate. So you gotta deal with the life. Yes, of course, everybody's gotta have to deal with the life. However, you gotta stick with the dream. If you already forgot about the dream, or you don't have any specific dream in your mind, now you gotta spend your time to develop your dream. Spend more time to figure out what is the dream about you, a dream for you. What is the dream of life is like for you? That is the start line. And remember the intention of your spirit, intention of the God. Remember, you gotta have it. You have to have it. I mean, you have it. You just remember. You just don't remember. You just don't recall it right now. However, you have it. You have it deep in your soul. You have it deep in your spirit because how that's how you're born in this planet. Now, spend your time to develop your dream and figure out what is your dream life about. Is dream life is like, and feel it and live in it and pursue pursue the dream. Whenever you have a time, spend your time and think about how to be like the dream. Spend the time to figure out how to turn a reality into a dream. And when you once you try to closer to dream, you're gonna be happy because your spirit wants you to be like that. Your spirit wants the dream from the beginning. That's why you become happy when you pursue the dream. So stick with the dream. That is to vitalize you. That vitalizes you and unleashes your potential power, and that lead you to be closer to God, and that let your spirit more American power that it has originally, and you're gonna be you're gonna be beautiful and powerful, and you're gonna impact on so many people as you get closer to your dream. So this is my message today, and I hope this helps you a little bit. And I love you guys. Better habits, better life, and I see you in the next video. Peace.